Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to build a rod holder for your kayak to where you can haul 5 or 6 rods. I started out with, this is 3/4 Schedule 40 PVC. I cut 2 pieces 20 inches long. Depending on your kayak, you could change it up a little bit, however you wanted to do it. Make it longer, or as taller, or shorter. I'm going to put it where I can have 6 rod holders. So you'll need 6. These are 3/4 4-ways. You'll need 2 3/4 90-degree couplings, and I'll have 7 of these, and I cut them 2 inches. So I bought 1 stick of the 3/4 inch and made the 2 20-inch pieces, the 6 2-inch pieces. Alright, so this is how you start. You start off by dropping them in. You kind of check your seat where you want your rod holders to go. If you really wanted to, you could put 45s and bring them up. And certain kayaks works out great for these 45s, but then again, certain kayaks, you just want to, depending on where your seat sets. Like, I've got a Vibe Sea Ghost, and I've got the coming out of the rod holders, and it goes into a 45, then a 90, and I have 5 rod holders on this one. But this is the Ascend, so it's a little bit wider, so I can take and put 6 across here. And you kind of want to put it together, just kind of test fit it. You don't put it on snug. So there's your one 90-degree angle. You put your second 90-degree angle on it. Then you'll want to put your couplings in. And you're just test fitting this right now, and you may not be able to put 6 on yours. But what I like to do is push it to where I've got outward pressure on it, so when these go down, they actually hold in place really well. And it looks like I'm going to be able to put 5 on this one, which is not an issue. We could stretch it by 6. Because they're going to close up just a little bit. Now, when you pull these out and go to glue them, you want to make sure all these are even all the way across there. And I'll turn them to where they're slightly going about the 45-degree angle that these are coming out. So I'm not sure if that's a full 45, but it's pretty close. So you'll have your rods kind of slope backwards. So since you test fitted everything together, and you got 6 rod holders going across there, then you can pull it apart and you can start gluing it. What I like to do on right here is I'll start with this 4-way, and I'll go from here all the way across to the other 4-way, and I'll make sure they're all in a line and glued together. Then I'll put my 90s on and make sure that they are turned the same way also. And then it's just a matter of putting your 2 downward bars in to go on your rod holders. Now, remember, it is going to be a little tight coming out because you don't want it to flop around. You want it when it's in there, it's, you know, it's snug. So, and you're looking at, these are like $2 something a piece for the 4-ways. So just say 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 19 bucks. So you're looking at less than $25 for all this right here. So not a bad deal. Alright, now for right here, I just take some PVC cleaner. I've already cleaned all these to try to save a little bit of time. Just take and clean that in real good. You're not gluing it to be water, to hold water, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then you take and clean the inside of each one of these. Just remember which side you cleaned it. Put this back together. And just regular PVC glue, cement. I have the blue. You can use any of it, it doesn't matter. And then you don't have to go crazy. I'll start with this one since it's already dry. Just throw a little bit around there, a little bit around there, and then push it in. Give it a good little twist. When you go to twist it, it doesn't spin, it locks in. So that way you know you've got it locked in place and it's glued tight. Like I said, it ain't gotta be perfect because you're not holding, it's not a water pipe in your house, so. And right here, that's where you kind of have to lay them down and make sure those get the same direction. You don't want one laying this way and then one laying up this way. You want them laying flat. And then right here where you cut 2 inches, you've got a small gap. Now if you wanted to say only have 4 rod holders on here, you could create a wider gap between these and cut a longer piece of this. These are 2 inches, so my gap is only about 1/8 inch right there. And then you should, when you're done, it should look something like that. Or straight all the way across. Then, come over here to these. I always like to lay a piece of rag down just so you know when you clean it, it's not getting anything back on it. You just and I said it doesn't have to be perfect. You're not about to shoot 100 psi of water or anything to it, so it'll hold just fine. These right here, you just pop them on there like that right there. And then your uprights are done. Go ahead and drop your 2 uprights in. Now they can sit here and spin both ways. And there's your 6 rod holders going across. And for right here, you just take, put you just a little bit on there. On the inside of that, just go around the inside of this coupling. It ain't got to be perfect. Here's where it does get a little tricky. You want to find what angle you want your rod holders to be sitting at. So if I wanted to keep them, I could turn them straight up, I could turn them forward, or I'm going to kind of keep the same flow with about the 45-degree angle. That way if you're out on a creek and you come under some trees or something, your rods are not sticking straight up. They're leaned back just enough to where they slide right out So you just take, push it in like that. Same way on this side. Push it right in there. And bam. You have a rod holder for all your rods. And say if you're just going fishing, you only want 2 one day, pop it right out. You don't even take it with you. You just slide it right in. And then that's what your fishing rod looks like while it's in there. Slides right in. That dude's in there sturdy. It ain't gonna fall out. So if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I try to do random videos like this every so often. And this is a cheap rod holder. You ain't gotta go crazy with them. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of stuff with them, but this is something you can just throw together in maybe 10 minutes and be able to carry all your rods with you. We'll see y'all.